We've added quite a few new features for customizing graphs in Understand 6.3. Most of them can be accessed through this new menu in the legend. Now, if the legend's not showing on a graph, you can see it easily by using this Show Legend button over here. With this option, we can create new themes that can apply to all of our graphs or just specific kinds of graphs. We can also customize the themes for those different graphs. Now, right now, I'm going to customize the theme for my calls graph. And first of all, I'm going to add a new entity kind to the legend because this default that shows up is not very customizable. So now any entities are going to show up as this rectangle. Now, I'm not a big fan of the rectangle, so I'm going to right-click on it right here, and I'm going to change the rectangle to an oval. So now all of the basic entities in the graph show up as ovals. So I'm going to create a new node style for functions and click OK. Now I need to go and change the default shape here before anything happens, because right now it's just an inherited shape and it's going to inherit the circle. If I change my functions to be triangles, we can now see that 95% of the graph is in fact functions. Now, in my team, we prefer static functions, so I'm actually going to change that, and we can use any of the kinds that Understand uses. If you're not familiar with them, they're in our API documentation. But let's say I want to make a new node kind for static functions, and I want these to show up as houses. And I want them to be a different color, so they're a little more visible to me. Little green squared houses for my static functions. Now, this will help our team understand a little better what this call tree is looking like. Now, I would also like to superimpose some additional information on this graph, and we've added these new metric color scales, which I'm really excited about because they let you layer data on your graph. Now, the default option here is cyclomatic complexity. We can see how complex a particular function is. I'm going to change it to count line code because I want to see how large each function is in my code. Now, by default, it doesn't change anything, but it did add this scale to our legend. So now we can go and apply that scale to anything that we want to apply it to. Now, I'm going to just apply it straight to the entity because everything will inherit from that. And I'm going to change my fill color to be this scaled count line code. Now, when I do that, you'll notice all of the entities inside this graph update and show how large each of these functions is. So I can get a good handle by looking at the call graph on how big my code is or how complicated, if that's the metric I'm interested in. And it's all layered here in the same call graph that we were using before.